abolish Ministry of Devolution in the national government. The coordination and cooperation of both levels of government should be handled through the Intergovernmental Relations Council. B, or 2, equitable share of county government should be at least 35%. I think we are in agreement on that, of the annual budget, as opposed to the current provision of at least 15% of the last audited national revenue. So 35% of the budget, revenue, part of the budget. C, enacting County Government's Public Finance Management Act and devolve the integrated financial management system. We need to devolve this IFMIS to the counties and develop standalone financial management system for counties, because there is a challenge for counties. They are not getting monies in good time, and therefore they are accumulating pending bills. Granting county assemblies financial independence to effectively oversight respective executives. We are emphasizing that. Establish and fully resource county assembly budget officers, as it is with the national parliament, or national parliament, yes. Granting members of the county assembly similar powers and privileges to those enjoyed by members of parliament, so that they can discharge their duties without fear. But there is also need, Mr. Chairman, to unbundle the functions of national and county governments, costing these functions and transferring functions with commensurate resources. This was supposed to be done by the transitional authority. However, that authority's term came to an end before they completed their work. It was expected that CRA would continue with this exercise, but we fear this exercise has been given lip service. So we need to unbundle the functions and see if 50% need to go to the counties. We should be clear on that. 50% of revenue or not, or more. Creating county police to address local security concerns and answerable to the county policing authority chaired by county governors. So this is county police, and I think we need to be very clear there. We are calling for creation of county police. Enacting legislation for the establishment of regional economic blocks and place regional development authorities and cross-county programs and projects under the regional economic blocks. We just want to legalize this, because you can see across the country, people, governors are coming together, counties are coming together to form regional block. We want a system that would legalize that and streamline it so that is done properly. Since Kera and Kura service roads that fall under county governments, they should be merged and the mandate revised to provide technical backstopping for county governments and be the regulatory agency for county governments with respect to enforcement of standards. Mr. Chairman, let me go to safety and security, which is a very small paragraph. Over the years, crime has grown in sophistication and spread. In order to effectively prevent and investigate modern crime, the agencies need to heavily invest in extensive research, scientific methods of investigation, and versatility. We fully endorse the proposals in the report regarding the enhancement of peace and security. But additionally, we propose the following changes. 1, to delink DCI from the National Police Service and create it as an independent security agency to be renamed as Bureau of Criminal Investigations or National Criminal Investigation Services, with mandates similar to FBI and New Scotland Yard, among others. This recommendation is informed by the nature of crime, the fact that the nature of crime has evolved, and the agency will need to invest in top-notch professionals in areas like law, cybersecurity, forensics, financial analysis, criminology, medicine, and psychology, among others. It also needs to engage in extensive research, which require extensive infrastructure and resource layout, as well as policy and operational autonomy. We also propose that police accountability and containing the impunity of law enforcement agencies and ending extrajudicial executions, now I'm targeting the security organs, require a revisit of the mandate and the investigative and operational autonomy of the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA. We therefore propose as follows, that we transform IPOA into an independent commission under Chapter 15 of the Constitution and because of the cost-cutting measures, merge it with the Commission on Administrative Justice, which is commonly referred to as the Ombudsman. The fifth item is the fourth item, actually, representation and legislature. Elections emanate from the dictum of no taxation without representation. They are therefore supposed to be civilized competitions, not war. However, due to the zero-sum game or the nature of our electoral system and culture, they have become a life and death affair that at times, Mr. Chairman, leads to loss of life, limb and property, as well as mass displacement of population. And I don't think there is any Kenyan who needs to lecture on this. Our country direly needs a lasting solution to the cyclic electoral crisis that we have been facing. We therefore support observations and recommendations in the report with special emphasis on restructuring IBC to pave way for a new commission to conduct the next elections. 2, comprehensively reforming the IBC, we agree to that. We also agree to doing away with the first-past-the-post electoral system. The party leaders of parliamentary parties to nominate IBC commissioners for appointment by the president. We support that. IBC chairperson to be the commission CEO to avoid conflict occasioned by 2 power centers and have a secretary to the commission and not the current setup. Addressing gender imbalance in elective and appointive leadership positions. And of course, the reintroduction of the position of the leader of opposition in parliament. We further propose the following, that we change the electoral system to mixed member proportional representation with a view to progressively moving to a full proportional member representation system. This will cure the problem. We will have the 290 constituencies for a start to take care of the regional, the geographical expansiveness of the country and other considerations, but also have proportional representation to take care of the population, which, you know, there are some regions in this country which have been calling for one man, one vote. This will help address the ever-elusive 2/3 gender rules realization, address the need to fulfill one person, one vote principle, while ensuring equity for less densely populated areas. Make manipulation of elections at all levels treasonable, Mr. Chairman. Let those who manipulate election be charged with treason and sentenced accordingly. We need to clarify the roles of the National Assembly and the Senate. We have attached annexes here, Mr. Chairman. It's Annex A on what we expect should be the roles and the functions of National Assembly vis-a-vis the Senate. So we are not calling for disbandment of the Senate. We want it retained and probably even its responsibility enhanced. Create and define the role of the role and standing of the leader of opposition. That also we have put under Annex B. Executive. The history of imperial presence in Kenya, Mr. Chairman, which has ensured that the holder of the office of the president is unaccountable and exceeded the constitutional limits of that office, is replete with tales of exclusion, impunity, and rent-seeking. This has turned this office into a trophy of conquest in every election, with communities and regions endeavoring to win it by hook or crook. And this is one of the identified genesis of cyclic post-election violence in this country. ODM, therefore, supports the dispersal of executive powers as recommended in the BBI report. We do propose that the functions, powers, and roles of the executive be exercised as in Annex C. So when you go to Annex C, you'll see that we didn't want to dwell too much on giving you the details of how we expect, what are the powers of the president, responsibilities of the president, how the president should be elected, the responsibility of the prime minister, how they should be elected. That are all put as a suggestion under Annex C. You will look at it. So, Mr. Chairman, let me conclude by presenting the cross-cutting issues. Mr. Chairman, on cross-cutting issues, I want to start with judiciary. Very quickly, on the judiciary, it is our view that in order to resolve emergent tensions relating to appointment of judges, a mechanism akin to that found in the legislative process ought to be introduced to ensure an avenue is opened for any reservation the President may have on appointees to be communicated to the Judicial Service Commission. In this regard, we propose that in the event the President has nay reservations on an appointee, he communicate by memo to the Judicial Service Commission, and the Judicial Service Commission may consider the said reservation and, if satisfied, take the necessary steps. However, if the Judicial Service Commission is not satisfied, then the Judicial Service Commission can resubmit the names to the President, who will have no option but to appoint. And if he doesn't appoint in 14 days, then the judge or the judges are automatically appointed at the end of the said 14 days, so that we deal with this lacuna. Now, the issue of Nairobi City is a controversial one. We are just, we want to just ask, because this came from the task force, that this should be kind of a metropolis. The question we have as a party is, yes, if you make it a metropolis, but with a legislature, how will legislature operate? The assembly will separate without the executive. That is a concern. That is something that I think needs to be addressed in the final document. Again, Mr. Chairman, we are just also trying to express ourselves that I hope as a country we are not going to make a decision based on the performance of an individual or non-performance of an individual. Probably there are challenges in the Nairobi County today because the leadership is not the right one. But what if we could get the right leader? I think this is a matter that